What's up, YouTubers? It's J.R. Hawkins, aka Michael, here with my very first toy review. And today I'm going to be reviewing the original A Nightmare on Elm Street Freddy Krueger by NECA and Real Toys. And I just wanted to start off, and I want to say that I've been collecting NECA figures since 2004. I started off doing the Harry Potter figures, Lord of the Rings when they were doing those figures, and a bunch of those movie stuff that they were doing. Because I'm a huge movie fan, and I mean, what's better than having a movie than actually having a figure of your favorite movie? Which I have a lot of those. So this is, I'm actually a really big horror guy, so when, shaky camera here. Fix that. Fix this. Okay. Sorry about that. Anyways, I want to start off with the detail here. And, man, I tell you what. I want to start off and say that this is definitely one of the best sculpt jobs NECA and Real Toys has put together. And I've had a few of these Freddy Krueger figures, and they've come a long way from 2004, where the figures didn't articulate very well, and now, as you can see, they're, I mean, they've come a long way, let's just say that. And so I want to start off with the detail here. This face, and as you can see, he's already out of the box. I was so excited to take him out when I got him, and I know he came out probably a couple years ago, but you know, I have so many toys at action figures, and you know, it's might as well start reviewing them, and because you know, they're sitting on my shelf. So the first thing I noticed, and we're talking about the detail of the sculpt and that right now, number one, is the first thing I noticed was the hole in his ear. And you can see there's a better look there. I mean, that is awesome. And I can guarantee you that they have not done that with any other Freddy Krueger figure. And there's a reason why I kept this particular one, and that's one of the reasons. I mean, I just can't imagine how hard it would be to get that tiny little hole in there without, you know, just tearing out the entire section there, kind of like what they did here. But this is more intentional, you can see. And that is just awesome. So we're going to go in here. I mean, look at that face. That is very sinister. I can say, I mean, that's awesome. For all the horror lovers out there, including myself, I mean, this is just amazing, and I love it. And helps me sleep at night, I should say, having someone like this to protect me. Let's just, I mean, if we go in here, one of the things I like to point out is the gloss that they put over the paint to make it look like his skin is like moist. And I mean, they did a fantastic job with that. I mean, wow, I mean, look at that. The teeth are amazingly detailed. It's good stuff. To open wounds with the, you know, the wetness, I mean, they got the look, and they got it down, and it's very accurate. I can express how happy I am for them, you know, to really put time into doing these good figures. And you know, and the one thing NECA's always been good with is detail. I will say that, and that's probably one of their biggest things. And now they're doing all these ultimate movie figures. I actually grabbed a couple Gremlins, the Ultimate Stripe with the skateboard and Saw. That's a great one. And I'm a sucker for the cloth and lifelike hair, because I've also have a collection of Retro Joes, like, and I'm talking like the 12-inch GI Joes from the 60s and 70s, you know, when with the kung fu grew up, and the cloth clothes and you know, and stuff, and that's really what I look for in figures. But you know that, and there's a few companies that I wish they'd take more advantage of that, you know, since prices seem to be going up nowadays. But that's a whole separate video. But going back to this, I mean, that sculpt, I mean, I would say this face is almost better than the makeup in the movie. I mean, if you really look at it, I mean, the eyes are spot on. Sorry, my light's a little dim, but let's go into the articulation here. The hand, it does a rotation here. It goes up and down. Not much. It doesn't go up and down very much, but you know, it is there. You know, if you want to like do a, you know, kind of like do a little scratch, cat scratch there, or if you want to just put them down to the heel where it usually has it, kind of has that like that, you can do it. The bend and the, we'll get to that in a second. The rotation here, they got that pretty good. It's got the single joint here in the arm, single joint here in the shoulder, and it does rotate all the way around. Same thing with the other side. Single joint, this one's a little bit stiffer, but that's something you do always want in a figure. I've had a lot of figures where, you know, it's just really loose, kind of like, it feels like it's going to break off if you put too much pressure on it, and that always kind of bothers me, because there's another reason for that is because there's certain positions that I want to put him in, and it just can't do it. So stiffness is definitely a good thing to an extent. And you don't want them too loose, because it's a little irritating. So he has a ball joint in his head. I'll take it off here. Well, a somewhat ball joint. But yeah, and you know, he has interchangeable heads, which is awesome to capture all the scenes from the movie. So that's awesome. And with the legs, comes out like a ballerina. Of course, you can do that, which is awesome. He's got the type of ball joints in there in the legs, pelvis area, which is great. He has sorry about that. He has one single joint here in the knee. He has his foot's come here, you can do that, which is really good. And just want to be careful to get those ball joints back in their original place, because if you put too much pressure on the wrong place, it will break. So you definitely want to be careful about that. So the single joint here in the knees, same thing with this side. The foot detail on the foot is really good, and you know, these kind of look like the old retro Nikes from like back in the 80s, if you really look at it. And I think the first two movies he actually just like wore like these type of shoes, and they didn't really get into the boot thing until I think the Dream Warriors, if I'm not mistaken. If I am, just let me know in the comments, but I've seen those movies too many times to not know. But you know, I don't always think right sometimes. But anyways, and they do kind of rotate. It does rotate all the way around, but I wouldn't exactly you know, exercise that too much, because you want to be able to have that stiff stance. And I mean, some of the stuff, you know, he doesn't really have all those goofy stands, so you don't really need to put them in. You don't really need to put them in a bunch of different poses, unless, you know, you're doing a stop motion type thing, or you're doing a type of capture I should say. And there are people who do that, and I'm not like, it's not like I'm against that. I actually like that kind of stuff, but I really haven't had a chance to get into that stuff yet, and I think I'm going to in the future. So, but as for that, I mean, that's pretty cool. I mean, he stands really well, and you know it's a good figure when you can just stand him, and that's it. And so I want to get into the left hand here. My camera will get into that. Maybe it's just a little too close. Come on now. Alright, focus. Love you, focus. No, well, anyways. But, in the movie, his hand wasn't really burnt in the movie. So, wow, my focus really is not working. Snap it into working mode here if I can. Might just take a minute. Oh, well, anyways. Weird. Wow. Focus is not working at all. Sorry about that. Wow. That is really weird. Well, looks like I'm getting a new camera. Sorry about that, guys. Anyways, but yeah, in the movie, his hand really wasn't that burnt. You know, it was the first movie after all, and that's when, as in the second movie, when they really started getting his whole body a little more burnt. But I do want to say that I've had a lot of these figures, and I want to say this is the best Freddy figure that NECA has made thus far. Only because I've had part 2 where he comes with his dogs, and that one's awesome. And I'm thinking about doing a review on that one, so let me know in the comments whether I should or not. But the Dream Warriors figure, I want to go into that one because there were some things in the sculpt that I really kind of disliked, but there was some things I did like. For example, this face is a lot more detailed, I want to say, than that one. And the reason being is because there was something in the face of the Dream Warriors figure. It looked kind of goofy, like it just a little overdone, and it didn't really look like Robert Englund that much. Like I said, the detail was good, but it's just like, I think the sculpt was just a little weird. And as for the sweater, it wasn't like a red, it was almost like an orange. And it was very bright, and it almost kind of looked like those video game edition figures that NECA was coming out, like with the Rambo and the RoboCop and the Alien. They were all like those weird retro game colors, and I wasn't a big fan of those, to be honest with you. And it's too bad I really missed out on the Stallone Rambo in the regular colors, because man, he's going for a mint. But yeah, it was just a little too bright for me. But here's the thing about it: I loved his accessories. The Dream Warriors figure came with, the little puppeteer. When Freddy became the living little puppet, came with the little house, and his accessories were awesome. And I loved it. But it just wasn't my favorite figure. So, and it was kind of like a thing where I wanted to keep the accessories and not keep the figure, but it's kind of hard to do that these days, and plus, when I end up selling something, I like to sell it complete. I don't like to leave things out. I want everybody to be able, whom I'm selling to have everything complete, and if they want to do that, they can. So anyways, I'm going to get into the accessories here. Here's his hat, and his hat's pretty. It's a light brown. Unfortunately, my focus isn't really coming in that well, guys. So I do apologize for that once again. But it's not too. I don't know why it's doing that. But I'll figure it out. Anyways, that's gonna go on him like that. And we're going to go down here. I'm going to start off with the telephone. Now, if you remember in the movie, Nancy had this phone in her hand, and that's when his mouth kind of came out, and he had the tongue, of course, you know, stuff like that. And I love it. I mean, this was kind of like a throw-in accessory, I want to say. But I was actually hoping that NECA was going to make a Nancy figure, but you know, they need to get permission from the actors and actresses, and maybe that was just something that she didn't really approve upon, so they didn't end up making it. I could be wrong, that's just my speculation. But this is an accessory. I feel like if they made her figurine, that's what should have came with her, you know, because she's the one who had this accessory. So that was like a throw-in. We'll go with this mask. I like this mask. And hey, there's the focus. This mask, and this is like another throw-in. I do like it, and as you can see here, they've made it to mold his face, so you can snap it on his face here. But of course, you know, that's not really something I use, but it was a cool idea. But you know, it's not like he's Texas Chainsaw Massacre or anything. Here's one of the interchangeable heads. Now, as you can see, the detail is still really good on this one. They still got the gloss to make it look, you know, the burnt, moist skin. The face it just looks kind of weird. I mean, I guess, you know, this is like the normal head, but this is, I just don't see a lot of people really putting this face on there. But like I said, this is for the scene captures, for people who want to do the dioramas and stuff like that, which I can understand. And then I'm actually, for a figure that's $30, why not? I mean, give us as much stuff as possible, you know. But that's pretty cool. My favorite head, which is hiding all the way back here, this one is hands down top notch. I mean, look at that. That is really cool. I mean, look at that. I mean, that's I mean, that artwork is great, and I'm an artist myself, and you know, I know good art when I see it, and whoever sculpts these figures, I mean, I gotta give him a round of applause, because he really put a lot of dedication, and you can tell he put a lot of passion into these sculpts, and it was not rushed whatsoever. And I mean, I'm very appreciative of it, and anyone who really collects figures at all, you know, you're really appreciative of what these people put together for us as buyers and collectors, especially like myself. And I'm a big movie horror guy, action guy, and every one of my favorite films I buy figures for. You know, I mean, why wouldn't you? You know, if you're like that type of person. But I do love that accessory. And they also have the hand. You know, and then this is from that scene in the alley where he's like, "Hey Nancy, check this out," and like freaking cuts his fingers off, and he starts laughing about That was iconic. I mean, that was just a great scene. So I think it's awesome that they actually threw this in here so you could recapture that scene in the figure pose. So that's really cool. And I mean, the detail is just so good on these. And you know, a lot of people complain about the $30 price tag on these, but if you really think about it, it's not too bad. The only thing that I would say, because I kind of, the one thing I do understand with people about the price is the durability on these NECA figures are, well, let's just say it's not your typical Hasbro, Mattel type of durability. Because with these figures, I mean, they do break very easily, especially in colder temperatures. And I've had a lot of these NECA figures break on me. Oh, excuse me. And like I said, what I'm saying is I wouldn't buy these and start giving them to your children by any means, because I've had a lot of these figures growing up, and I've done a lot of regrettable things playing with them as if they were like a freaking Tonka truck or something. And well, you know, that was very disappointing for me. I mean, I remember this one time I had a Movie Maniacs McFarlane Toys Candyman. You know, it was from Candyman 2, Farewell to the Flesh. And the very first thing I broke off of it was the hook. And man, was that, I mean, I was like sad for like a week, because that was like my favorite part. And you know, you drop it like this, and that's all it takes for the hook to just, you know, just break off, and there goes the hook, and now the hook's gone, can't glue it back on. So yeah, but anyways, I would say, you know, if all the Freddy fans out there, if you don't already have this figure, go to your local Target and pick this one up, because I highly recommend this figure. And I'm going to be doing a review on more of the other Jason figures that they've come out with. And the thing is it seems like NECA's come out with more of the Friday the 13th figures than the Freddy figures. I mean, they've only done the Ultimate Wave that they've come out with the last few years. They've only done 3 Freddys, I believe. They did this one, they did Freddy's Revenge Part 2 with the dogs, and the Dream Warriors, and I think that's it. And they just came out with the new Jason New Blood Part 7, which I'm trying to get my hands on so I can do a review on that, because that was Kane Hodder's very first reprisal. That was his first acting job as Jason Voorhees, and I would love to go see him and have him sign it. And I will be doing a review on that once I get my hands on that gold. So like I said, pick this one up. In my opinion, he is the best one that they've come out with. Part 2 and then Part 3 in that order. So thanks guys for sticking around, and look, this is my first action figure review. If you like it, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my page. If there's anything that you would like me to review, let me know in the comments below, and I will be sure to put them up. This is J.R. Hawkins, and your movie reviewer. Have a good day. Bye.